I need to say something to you tonight that nobody else in your life is willing to say. Not your friends because they are doing the same thing you were doing. Not your children because they are the ones benefiting. And not you because you cannot say it to yourself without feeling like a bad parent. So I will say it, and I will carry the blame for saying it, because I am old enough that blame does not frighten me anymore. You are destroying yourself for your adult children, not helping them, destroying yourself. There is a difference, and the difference is the whole teaching tonight. You are giving money you do not have to spare. You are giving energy your body can no longer afford. You are giving silence when you should speak, service when you should rest, and pieces of your remaining years, which are not many, to people who are fully grown, fully capable, and in most cases not even aware of the size of what they are taking. And you have wrapped all of this destruction in the most beautiful word in any language, love. You call it love. And because you call it love, no one can question it, least of all you. Tonight, I am going to question it. I am going to name 5 things you must stop doing for your adult children. Not because you love them too much, because what you are doing is not love anymore. It stopped being love somewhere along the way and became something else. Something that is quietly ruining your final years. And here is the part that will surprise you. Quietly ruining your children too. Stay with me to the end because the last one is the hardest, and it is the one your own heart has been trying to tell you about for years. The first thing you must stop doing is rescuing them from the same crisis more than twice. Hear the number. Twice, not never. Life hits everyone, and a parent who can catch a grown child in a true storm should catch them. That is family. That is right. The first rescue is love. The second rescue is grace. But the third rescue of the same crisis, the same debt, the same eviction, the same broken-down mess caused by the same choices. The third rescue is not love anymore. It is participation. By the third time, you are not saving your child from the crisis. You are funding the crisis. You have become part of its structure, a line item in its budget. Your child, and I say this gently, but I say it, has learned something from the first 2 rescues. They have learned that the bottom is not real, and a person who knows the bottom is not real never changes course. Because why would they? The consequences that teach every human being on this earth how to live have been outsourced to you. You are absorbing the lessons that were addressed to them. And at what cost? You know the cost. The savings that were supposed to carry you through your old age, the peace of your evenings spent instead lying awake doing their arithmetic. The truth my grandmother put in one sentence that I have never forgotten. She said, "A parent who keeps standing between their child and the ground teaches the child that falling is free. Falling is not free. Someone always pays. And right now, the someone is you." Let me show you what the third rescue costs with a real family. A woman I knew had a son, a good man in many ways, charming, warm, terrible with money. And beginning in his 30s, the pattern set in. Every 2 or 3 years, a collapse. The credit cards, the failed venture, the truck he could not afford. And every collapse ended the same way at her kitchen table with tears, real tears. He was not a liar. He meant every promise and a check. And she wrote the checks for 20 years into her 70s. And here is the ledger. Nobody in that family ever looked at. So, I will read it to you. She skipped the surgery she needed for 2 extra years because the savings had gone to his second collapse. She sold the little lake cabin, the one place on this earth she truly rested, quietly, telling everyone she was tired of the upkeep. She was not tired of the upkeep. She was covering collapse number 4. She stopped traveling to see her sister, her only sister, in the last years of that sister's life, because the money was always spoken for before the year began. 20 years of a good woman's remaining life liquidated one rescue at a time, and her son, at 58, was exactly where he was at 38. Exactly. Not 1 inch of ground gained because he had never once stood on ground. He had stood on her, And when she was gone and the check stopped, the bottom he met at 58 was so much harder than the bottom he would have met at 38. And he met it old, and he met it alone. The rescues did not save him. They postponed him. At the price of her surgery, her cabin, her sister, her rest. Both of them were ruined by her love. That is what I mean when I say what you are doing stopped being love somewhere along the way. Love builds two people. What she was doing dismantled two people slowly, politely, with everyone smiling at the holidays. Look at your own ledger tonight. All of it. What the rescues have actually purchased on both sides. If the answer is nothing but postponement, then the kindest thing in your remaining power for both of you is to let the ground become real again. And one more word on the rescues before we move on, because I know the fear that keeps the checks coming. The fear says if I stop, something terrible will happen to them. Hear an old man on this. In 50 years of watching families, I have seen far more grown children destroyed by parents who never stopped than by parents who did. The ones whose parents finally stopped. They struggled. Yes, some of them badly for a season, and then in numbers that would shock you. Stood up because standing was finally the only option, and human beings are built to stand when standing is the only option. The bottom you are so afraid of is usually not their destruction. It is their beginning. You are not protecting them from the ground. You are protecting them from their own feet. Before I share the next teaching, I need to tell you something. I am not going to be here forever, and most of what I know was never written anywhere. So I sat down and I wrote it. All of it. 20 teachings, 4 parts, in the order they were meant to be received. The ones about loving your grown children without disappearing into them. The ones about the difference between helping and destroying yourself. The ones I have never said on camera. It is called the native way, and it costs less than one dinner you will not remember. Or look in the comments, but do not leave yet, because the next thing on this list is the one that is costing you the most, and I can almost guarantee you did it this month. The second thing you must stop doing is funding a lifestyle you were never asked to approve. This one is delicate, so let me be precise. There is a difference between helping a child who is drowning and financing a child who is swimming in a direction you are paying for. You know the difference in your own gut. The drowning child help. But look honestly at where some of your money is going. You are eating carefully from a fixed income while helping pay for a life that includes things you yourself never permitted yourself. The new truck, the vacations you see on the phone, the restaurants. And you say nothing because it is not your business how they live. And you are right. It is not your business how they live until your money is in it. The moment your money is in it, one of two things must be true. Either you have a say or you have a stop. And since no parent wants a say in their grown child's life, and no grown child should give one, the answer is the stop. Hear me clearly, because I want to remove the guilt from this. You are not obligated to fund any part of an able adult's lifestyle. Not their rent so they can afford the better car. Not their groceries so they can afford the streaming and the trips. When you do this, you are not being generous. You are being used as a bank that charges no interest and asks no questions. And worse, a bank they never even had to apply to. And every month you quietly cover the gap. You teach the same lesson as the rescues. The gap is not real. Someone else absorbs it, and your own life gets smaller, quieter, more careful, so that theirs does not have to be. That is not a parent's duty. That has never been a parent's duty. In the old way, the young provided for the old. I am not even asking you to expect that. I am asking you to stop reversing it. The third thing you must stop doing is being their unpaid, unthanked, always available staff. The permanent babysitter who cannot make plans because the grandchildren might be dropped off. The one who drives everyone to every airport. The storage unit for their furniture. The house sitter. The dog sitter. The errand runner. The one they call when anything needs doing that they do not want to do. Now be careful with me here, because I am not telling you to stop being a grandparent. Time with grandchildren is treasure, and most of you would take more of it, not less. I am talking about something you can feel the difference of in your own chest. There is being invited into your family's life, and there is being deployed by it. You know which one is happening by how they ask if they ask, and by what happens when you say no. Try saying no once to something small and watch. If the response is understanding, you are family. If the response is irritation, coldness, guilt, if the machinery grinds because a part refused to turn, then hear what that grinding is telling you. You are not being included, you are being scheduled. And a person who is scheduled by others but never consulted, who serves the family calendar but never shapes it, is not an elder in that family. They are staff. And here is what it costs, beyond the tiredness. It costs you their respect. This is the cruel circle almost no one sees. The more endlessly available you are, the less your time is worth in their eyes. Because people never value what costs nothing. The parents who are respected in their old age, and I have watched this for 70 years, are not the ones who served the most. They are the ones whose yes meant something because their no existed. I watched a woman learn this at 71, and the way it happened stayed with me. For 6 years, she had been the default child care for her daughter's family. Not invited, default. The schedule arrived by text each week, the way a work schedule arrives, and she loved those grandchildren fiercely. Hear me, this is not a story about a grandmother who did not want to be one. It is a story about a woman who had not been asked a question in 6 years. And one spring, her oldest friend invited her on a trip, a real one, 2 weeks, the kind of thing she had not done in decades. And when she told her daughter she would be away those 2 weeks, the reaction was not, "How wonderful, Mom, you deserve it." The reaction was, "Well, what are we supposed to do about the kids?" Not anger, even, just logistics. Her 2 weeks of living had registered purely as a staffing problem. And the woman told me that sentence did what 6 years of tiredness could not. It showed her what she had become in the family machinery, and she went on the trip shaking, guilty, half convinced she was abandoning her family. She went. And when she came back, tanned and full of stories, something interesting happened. The schedule became a conversation. The daughter began asking instead of assigning, "Are you free Thursday, Mom?" Instead of, "The Thursday drop-off is at 8. Because the 2 weeks had taught the whole family something the 6 years of endless availability never could. That her time was hers, that it had value, that it could be elsewhere. Nothing broke. The love did not shrink. The grandchildren did not forget her. The only thing that died was the assumption. And assumptions, I promise you, deserve to die. Your family will not love you less for having a life. They will consult you more because people consult the ones who might say no. They only schedule the ones who never do. The fourth thing you must stop doing is biting your tongue about everything to keep the peace. Somewhere in these last years, a silence crept over you and your own family. You watch things you disagree with. Sometimes things that hurt you directly. The missed calls, the forgotten birthday, the sharp tone they take with you that they would never take with a stranger. And you say nothing because you do not want to be difficult, because you are afraid of the distance that speaking might create, because some part of you, and this is the painful one, is afraid that if you become inconvenient, you will see them even less, so you swallow it, year after year of swallowing. And I want to tell you what all that swallowed truth becomes. It becomes the heaviness you cannot explain. It becomes the strange sadness after every visit that went fine. Everything was fine, and you sat in your car or your kitchen afterward and felt like crying and did not know why. I will tell you why. Because you were not at that visit. A careful, edited, agreeable performance of you was at that visit. And performing peace is not peace. My grandfather said, "A family where the elder cannot speak truth is a family that has already lost its elder. They just have not held the funeral." You do not have to become a critic. I am not sending you into battle over every grievance. I am telling you that an elder speaks kindly, briefly, without drama, but speaks. That hurt me. I need you to speak to me differently. I will not be doing that anymore. Sentences like that spoken calmly do not destroy families. The absence of them does slowly by turning the elder into furniture. And furniture, hear this, gets moved wherever anyone wants and consulted about nothing. And the fifth thing, the hardest one, you must stop postponing your own life until they no longer need you. Because I want to tell you the secret you have been keeping from yourself. That day is never coming. There is no future date when the children are finally settled, the money finally sufficient, the grandchildren finally raised, and everyone stands in a circle and hands your life back to you and says, "Thank you. Now it is your turn." It does not happen. It has never happened for anyone. There will always be one more crisis, one more need, one more season where it would be selfish to leave, to spend, to rest, to begin the trip you have been meaning to take. The little dream, and I know you have one, everyone has one. The place you wanted to see, the thing you wanted to learn, the visit you keep postponing. You have been holding your own life in a waiting room for years, telling it soon, soon, once they are settled. And your life has waited, patient as an old dog by the door. But it cannot wait forever. And you know this now in a way you did not know it at 50. The years are no longer theoretical. So this is the fifth teaching, and it is not a rebuke. It is a permission slip from a 70-year-old man to every one of you. Take some of it back now, not when they are settled. They will never be settled because life is not a settling kind of thing. Book the small trip. Spend some of it on yourself. Guilt-free. It was always yours. Reclaim a day of your week that belongs to no one, and when the voice rises up, and it will rise, saying, "What kind of parent puts themselves first?" Answer it with the truth, the kind whose children will someday grow old too. And whatever you model now, the sacrifice without end, or the life fully lived to the last year, that is the manual you are writing for them. Give them a manual worth inheriting. Show them what it looks like when a person loves their family with their whole heart and still keeps a life of their own. That is the last great thing you can teach them. And nobody can teach it but you. And before I close, let me answer the objection your heart has been raising through this whole teaching, because I have heard it in 1,000 kitchens. But he would do it for me. But she is my child. But that is what parents do. Listen, I am not telling you to love them less. I have not said one word tonight about loving them less. Boundaries are not the opposite of love. Boundaries are what allow love to survive to the end of the road. The parents who burn themselves completely, who arrive at their 80s depleted, resentful under the smile, secretly exhausted by the family they gave everything to. That is not the victory of love. That is its slow defeat. And the parents who kept something for themselves, who could still laugh, still travel, still surprise you, still say no, whose company the children actually sought out because it was a pleasure and not an obligation on both sides. Those parents loved better, not less. Longer, not less. All 5 things I told you to stop tonight are not withdrawals of love. They are repairs to it. You are not closing your heart. You are closing the leaks, so that what remains of your strength, your money, your years, and your voice can be given freely, joyfully, by choice, for as long as you are here. That is what your children actually need from you now. Not your sacrifice, your presence. And presence requires that there be someone left. If what you heard today stayed with you, the book is there. The Native Way, 20 teachings, 100 pages, written the way I would speak to you if we were sitting together, with your phone, or find the link in the comments. Read 1 chapter. Sit with it. Now, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments which of the 5 have you been doing, and what is the first one you are going to stop. I read every comment, and if this is the kind of conversation you have been looking for, subscribe to this channel. We are not collecting viewers here. We are collecting people who remember. Come back next week. I am not done teaching.